For those of you who don't know us, I'm Lee.
And I'm Steph.
We are GrizzlyNbear.
We have a small YouTube channel that is about traveling, adventure, rock climbing. This is what we love to do. Our mission is to take this car around the world.
Normally the videos are just like the travel vlogs, all the places we're going and some rock climbing and obviously off-roading. But I've been getting tons of questions and comments about what we did to this car. This is our second Land Rover Defender 130 because unfortunately the first one that we put a lot of hard work and love into was involved in a accident down in Portugal in which the car was written off. So over the last 6 months we've rebuilt Bear number 2, and this video probably a lot of people might find boring, but if you're into Land Rovers, Defenders, 4x4s in general, then yeah, stick around and check this out.
Let's get started.
Land Rovers right now, Defenders, sorry I should say specifically, have halted production. So in 2016 they stopped making the Land Rover Defender. Since then the car has actually started to come up in value and become more and more difficult to buy. Our Land Rover Defender is the 130 model, which is one of the rarer of the models, I guess, but it's what we needed for our camper, so we didn't want to wait too long until the price kept going up. We rushed into buying it. When we bought the car, it had this little number was hidden with a Land Rover sticky. The car's history here is in this number. We bought it in Germany, but actually lived its life in Poland. The car was a service vehicle for an electrical company, servicing like remote power lines and electrical lines. So it lived a pretty tough life, and we're sure it spent most of its life off-road. On the previous car, we had just a tubular winch bumper, which was still a heavy-duty bumper and definitely, along with the seatbelts, saved our life. This is a very common bull bar in Australia. Australian-made ARB heavy-duty one. We installed LED lights front and rear, which are a massive improvement on the standard lights that come with the Defenders. We put some pretty heavy-duty light guards on there.
Here you can see a beautiful French number plate, and that was hard work. We've removed the Land Rover lettering and we placed Defender. Thibaut installed this
Thank you, Thibaut.
This plate right in the center.
On the front we have a worn 9.5 XP winch. Now this one came with the car. Wasn't in good condition either. Down at Newman 4x4, Rod, he's a very meticulous guy. I can be quite rough, I guess. The winch worked. I was happy to just throw it in and install it, but Rod was not having that. He thought it was making some funny noises, which it was. So he had me strip it down completely and rebuild the thing. So thank you, Rod. I'm happy he did, because I learned a lot. I learned everything about this thing, and then I ended up wiring it up myself as well. So yeah, we got it in pretty good working order. And I'm happy with that. It's good enough for us. This black grille on the front there, this one's just for show. Behind that we do have a steel protective grille protecting the intercooler. Now the intercooler we upgraded. That inside there, that's a Bass high flow intercooler. Now down underneath here we also have our bash plate or steering guard, and that's the same one that came off the wreck. Whatever we could salvage we did, and it's nice to have as many pieces as we could from Bear 1 transplanted over to Bear 2. Aerial on the front here is just for a really basic CB. We've got full checker plate bonnet guard on the wings and on the main bonnet here. Reason being, we walk on the bonnet all the time to access the roof rack. Homemade branch deflectors, nothing fancy about them. I just went down to the local hardware store and made them myself. They got brought over from the last car as well. Under the bonnet. Now we did change the engine. We've put a brand new engine in this one. We just opted to go for the stock standard, which is a 2.4 Ford Duratorque, the one that comes with the Land Rover Defender Pumas. For what we do, this is enough. It gives us enough power. Newman have installed a Bass engine upgrade, so we've had along with the air intake upgraded, it's also had an engine remap, which gives it a bit of extra horsepower and torque. The upgraded intercooler, and they upgraded the turbo as well, which is all done by Pete Bell at Bass Automotive. Alright, along with the new engine, we went a little bit further down and we changed out the clutch. The clutch was already completely destroyed when we bought this car. Upgraded that to a clutch fix, heavy duty clutch. In the engine I have gone for a Bearmark alternator, starter motor and a high pressure fuel pump. And then we've got front indicator guards. This is the intake for the heating system for the blower. We've got the door handle protectors here. Pretty heavy duty, but I have to admit I love the look of them. Steph doesn't like them too much, but I thought they were pretty cool. Wind deflectors from Bearmark. They're a really cool addition. We've got the Mud Stuff blind spot mirrors here, which are pretty cool for us, with the camper on the back, and so far they're really good. The snorkel, now the snorkel's a really nice bit of kit for us. The guys at Newman, they've done a cool modification with this one, and it's an 80mm intake all the way through. They modified the airbox, air filter housing and everything to take that. The roll cage, it's not the same roll cage. The other roll cage was too twisted from the accident, but it's the same as what we had, the half body roll cage for the 130, and that's done by Safety Devices. We have our lovely LED bath, another thing that survived the accident, and we've installed on the new, along with the roof rack. Now the roof rack came with the car. Sorry, not with the car, with the camper. Roof rack looks a bit weird with the camper not on. People have seen the car, you know, with the roof rack and no camper, and they say, "Well, you got that overhang." Well, that's why the camper has to come all the way forward there. Now that holds our spare tire. I did go bigger tires on the rebuild, so we had to modify the roof rack to fit the 285 75s. Yeah, it doesn't fit in the roof rack.
No way.
Just cut this bit. Up on top in the spare tire, I cut and chopped our little easy stove a bit to fit inside there, just held down with a couple of straps. That's a cool bit of kit that we use if we're allowed to make a fire. On the other side we have our storage box. In the storage box we keep all of our recovery equipment, so it's nice and easy to access and not with the camper. It stays with the car all the time. Alright, tyres. We went a little bit bigger on this rebuild. We got the Cooper, same tyres, Cooper STT Pro. I love these tyres. They're 285 75s R16s. We've got the alloy racer rims, 30mm spacers in behind there. On this rebuild as well, which we didn't do in the last one, we've got a 2-inch lift. So in here we've got coil suspension with Terra Firma adjustable shocks. Underneath we have Terra Firma front radial arms, heavy duty. They've guys at Newman have installed a very nice front heavy duty upgraded front prop shaft as well. We've got heavy duty upgraded track rods at the front there. The entire chassis has been, the car was stripped back, not completely to the chassis, but the rear tub was off. So the guys took the opportunity to steam clean the chassis. The whole thing was full of mud. They said they'd never seen another car in that sort of condition. They cleaned it up, stripped it back, and Raptor guarded the entire chassis and did a really good job of that. The rock sliders here, or tree sliders, they're the ones that came with the truck when we bought it up in Germany. They were very corroded, but still in good condition, so we stripped them back to bare metal, gave them a couple of coats of paint, and then Raptor guarded. This time we opted to get an auxiliary fuel tank. The last time we were running our main fuel tank along with 2 jerry cans mounted on the side. This time I thought to save the carrying those jerry cans, we've gone and got this Long Range Automotive, another Australian company. They're in Victoria, I think it is. This is a 70 litre. Now that side sill tank is filled up from up the top here. On the side here, exactly the same as what we had on the last truck. We've got the sand ladders or bridges or waffle board, whatever you want to call them. I like these ones because they're a bit more heavy duty than the little flimsy ones. Just mounted them onto the side very simply. Little addition that looks a bit funny with the camper off. People can't understand why I cut a hole in the side of the truck, but with the camper on, it's pretty self-explanatory. We've got huge amounts both sides of wasted space in between where the wheel arch is there and the camper. You have about that much space by the length of the tub. So by cutting this little access panel in the side here and putting the box on, I can access all that, and we just put stuff in there that we don't use so often. Down underneath here we have the same as the front. We've got the Terra Firma adjustable shocks, which are adjusted just on the cylinder behind there. Upgraded heavy duty coils, and inside the coils we've removed the helper spring, which is normally on the back of the 130 Defenders, and inside we've gone for Australian made Airbag Man airbags, and they're really cool because we can now adjust the lift of the rear of the car for when the camper's on and when the camper's off. Underneath our main reservoir at the back here, it's the same make as the auxiliary, Long Range Automotive, the Australian company. These guys do really nice work. Now this is a upgraded main reservoir for the 130. They've made the most of every little bit of space in here, and this holds 140 litres. On the side here we've got another lovely gift from Newman. This is actually a French-made exhaust. Actually, I think it's the only French-made thing we've got on the car, but this is beautiful. Alex threw this in, which was very, very nice of him, and it's a sports exhaust. On the back here as well, we have our reverse camera, but I'll talk about that more when we go inside the car. Our basic electrical connection there for the tail lights on the camper, same as a normal trailer connection. Okay, the camper is held to the chassis of the car, or the tub of the car, with 4 ratchet straps. Inside here as well is you can just see the cable there, the electrical connection for the camper to the car. It's a cool system, a blue solar system in the camper, which when the car is running, the car alternator, once it's charged up the car batteries, then diverts power to the camper, charges up the camper batteries. When the car's off, like now, beautiful weather like this, the sun, once doing its job with the solar up here and has charged up both of our batteries in the camper, will then divert power the other way and charge up our auxiliary battery on the truck.
We've got our stickers made by a company near Annonay called Nuances publicitaires. They did a really good job.
Right, the roof has been resprayed. It was white when we bought the car. I really wanted it black. I know Steph really wanted it black. I was Googling images all the time. So in the end, I decided to do it black, but I kept it a secret from Steph. Okay, on the side here, in place of the 2 jerry cans, this is where I had the jerry cans mounted before. We've gone for this front runner drop-down table. We've got a food preparation area that folds up nicely, and it's even got a little extendable breadboard.
12-volt socket, double USB, and another 12-volt. Lockable QB box.
Alright, interior, we've got a full carpet kit, which is a soundproofed carpet kit from Exmoor Trim, and in the roof we also went for the Dynamat soundproofing as well. Inside, battery system on the car, we've got a Bosch dual battery system, which is very, very, very nice. It's controlled up on the top there. You've got an on, off, and an auto selection on the dashboard there. On the top here, we've got an EMS, an engine management system, which is made by a South African company called Little Black Box. Thank you, Graham Bell. I actually, in one of Graham Bell from A2A's books, that was one of his highly recommended pieces of kit, and that thing just gives you live readout of what's going on underneath the bonnet and alarms when anything's not right. Here is the LED indicator for our auxiliary tank. Okay, I pointed out the little reverse camera before. Now this reverse camera, I did tons of research trying to find something suitable. After the accident, made me realize that it could be very, very important to have a dash camera, but I wanted something that could double as a dash camera and a reverse camera. So after a lot of research, I found this one, which is done by a company called G-Mark, I think. And it's really, really cool. It records everything in really good quality forward, and it's recording everything behind us as well as giving us a live feed of what's behind us. So I can see what's behind me, because with the camper on I got no chance except for the wing mirrors. So I can see always what's behind me. It's recording what's in front and behind. And also when you put in the car in reverse, it will go to full screen on the rear view camera, so it sort of triples, so it's a very good bit of kit so far. The CB radio, as I pointed out the aerial before, nothing special about that, very basic. And the center console from Mud Stuff, and that's another little, along with the CB, this stuff was transplanted across. In the back, just taking every bit of storage space that we can get. We had that in the last car as well. We've got this storage net. We just keep like our puffy jackets, jumpers. Compressor, we're running an ARB twin cylinder compressor. This one survived the accident too, so we've brought that across. Now this thing is a beast. It's such a good compressor. So we kept the double seats and left the other one out, and we're still undecided as to what to sort of do to utilize this storage space here, because not having a seat, you do give yourself a lot more storage space. So we'll come up with something here. Okay, another thing that we've brought from the last rebuild was this 50-litre potable water tank, which goes under the seats, the rear seats in the seat box.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for checking out our little movie today, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm guessing the Land Rover enthusiasts would have. I've covered as much as sort of I could remember today off the top of my head, and without making this video go for an hour. But the guys at Newman 4x4 there in Annonay in France, they've done an amazing job. So we want to thank them a lot for the rebuild, letting us use their garage. We lived in their car park for like 2 months, just about total. I mean, they were amazing, and they let us get involved. Yeah, thank you so much. And there's, like I say, way too much work here that they've done for me to cover in a 20-minute movie.
Stay tuned on GrizzlyNbear, and next time I will show you around the camper, how it is inside, how it works, how we pop it up. Yeah. You remember something we forgot to tell in the movie?
I forgot. One of the first things I got installed on this car was the slick shift, and that was one of the first things I noticed when I bought a Puma. We owned a TD5 before. I loved my TD5. I had a 90, but anyway, when I first drove a Puma, I noticed how sloppy and horrible the gear shifting was. Driving it after the slick shift was installed was so much nicer. It made it feel like you were really driving. So anyone driving a Puma who hasn't got one, do yourself a favour and get the slick shift. It's done by, there's 2 companies, I think, TMD or something, and Synchro gearboxes. But great bit of kit. Except right now for that horrible rattling noise, which I've got to fix.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and to like this video if you did. Microphone test.
Okay, check 1, 2. Little mission, well, a big mission I should say. Can we put the camera there?
Stay tuned and... Ow!